Hello, everybody. Ooh, it's Ethan McKinley. It's Late Night Radio, and this is the 2-Minute TerMINator, where we break down the TerMINator films 2 minutes at a time. On the other end of the line, because we're not together, is Ellie Fitzgerald, my co-host.
Hello!
My indispensable co-host. Right, it's episode 43.
You know it's over when they start saying that. You're fired! Thank you.
How great would that be to shoot you out of an office block window, Ellie, and just watch you fall away from the camera with your extra long CGI clay arms?
You have to get a job in an office to be able to get entrance into one to then shoot me out of one.
RoboCop didn't have a job in an office. He just walked in there and shot Dick Jones. What?
He was a cop.
So? You still can't just walk into a building as a cop.
Yeah, you can.
You need a warrant.
But no, you don't.
You don't.
That's a public building. If you go into someone's residential house, yeah.
I think if you're a robot cop, you could do whatever you wanted and just shoot you out the window.
But you're not, so shut up and hit the music.
Howdy, stranger.
Don't say howdy, stranger to me.
You didn't do the fourth.
Thank God. It sucked. It sucked.
And we're back. Yes, today's bumper music, of course, is Vangelis's Blade Runner soundtrack. This is the 2002 Esper edition, if you want to listen to it in its full entirety.
It's amazing. It's one of my favourite soundtracks of all time.
Let's not go nuts.
It is. I love it.
Vangelis also did the music for 1492, Conquest of Paradise. Maybe we'll have that tomorrow in the next episode. If you are listening, this is actually Friday's edition, so we're going to try and...
We'll have that in the next episode. Going gay now, Ethan, isn't going to help your career.
I'm trying to be professional. I'm getting better at radio.
I'm getting better.
Anyway, yes, it's the 2002 Esper edition of the soundtrack. I have no idea what that means, but... it's playing in the background. If you do like it, you can, of course, find that in the show notes below the show you're actually watching. If you are listening to this and you don't know anything about the show, we're going to break down the TerMINator films 2 minutes at a time. It's episode 43, and we're going from minutes 86 to 88. Basically, the clip opens with John Connor driving into the kind of destroyed and dystopian skyline of Skynet, which is very industrial looking, a bit like the start of Blade Runner. And it ends with Sam... Oh, hello. Sam, why is the computer broken? Alright, it's not playing ball. There we go. It ends with basically Sam Worthington hooking into the mainframe with some rather smashing acting. As I said, if you don't...
Oh god, it's so bad.
If you don't know anything about the show, we actually do have a in-video version of this, a bit like Mystery Science Theater 3K, where we talk over the clip in question. No other 2 or 1 minute shows do this, so you can actually follow along with what we're talking about. Okay, on with the show. We've already hit the music, so let's just not hit Ellie, because she's not with me right now.
Let's not hit the small boy. Yes, Ethan.
You made some notes. I understand you enjoyed my clip.
Oh my god, so Ethan, because I'm at work now, my journey home, it takes me about an hour and a half. So what Ethan does is he records the clip and sends it to me. And today's clip came with, actually both the clips, all the clips, came with commentary. Half from Ethan McKinley, half from Sean Connery. And honestly, it's one of the funniest things I've heard in a long time. It was so good. I think my favourite was Sean Connery entering the mainframe at Skynet and talking through what he was doing.
Well, it started off as Ian McKellen.
My favourite bit in particular was when he hurts his hand. But I've said to Ethan that we should actually put that clip on the Facebook page because it's so funny.
Indeed.
You should just do a podcast where you do commentaries. You should talk whilst you're actually reading it.
Well, mate, you know what? Maybe I should...
watching it even.
No, I'll post it on the end of this episode.
It's really good. I was on a really packed train that had already been delayed. And I was just You know what my outside laugh is like? Imagine that in a carriage of hot, sweaty, frustrated people. It was interesting. But anyway...
TK421, why judge your post?
So we see Marcus running into Skynet. Why is he still hiding and kind of running incognito? He's like hiding behind things, waiting for the vehicles to pass, and then he runs. It's like, dude, they've already scanned your retinas. They know you're there. You're one of them.
Why are you playing Secret Squirrel?
Yeah, just walking there bold as brass. Have you ever heard the saying, it's so bait that it's not?
Yeah.
It's exactly like that. It's like the fact that you're doing that makes you look suspicious.
Well,
But
the one
maybe that's
thing,
the
we see one thing, that's
side
for
of him, I
sure. When John Connor's looking at the... it's about 30 seconds in, actually. Actually, that's a lie. It's 25 seconds into this clip. You see basically Skynet Central at the centre of this kind of like industrial zone, to quote Sonic the Hedgehog. They've completely gone away from, I guess, to make their own path or cut their own path in terms of production design and like character and environment design by getting away from James Cameron's kind of like chrome hieroglyphic inscribed giant pyramid, which is Skynet in TerMINator Battle Across Time. You don't see Skynet in the actual Terminator 2, but like the continuation of that I guess production design ethic, they actually show Skynet in that. It's really cool. It's like a giant pyramid. With this, they've kind of gone for that like industrial Blade Runner look, like Ellie kind of, well, I rightly pointed out, and Ellie went, oh yeah, which is a shame really, because I kind of like that look.
Why?
Well, I mean, you could argue that in and of itself is derivative of Blade Runner, but I just going so far away from Cameron's design, even though this is pre that time, because it's kind of only a few years into the war and they've not got the human resistance, hasn't got the laser weapons that are the machines use and stuff. It just
looking at the skyline and the set and the scenery, it just makes me think that Blade Runner and Lord of the Rings bumped uglies and bore a Salvation setting baby.
Baby Salvation, isn't he cute?
Yeah.
Look at his dirty plumes. Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. It's, I mean, you could argue that they're going for this kind of like neo-industrial kind of thing. I don't know what I'm talking about right now. Just industrial thing. I'm just trying to sound like a film cinephile. But if this is Skynet building itself, I guess you could go, okay, fair enough. It's not got to that kind of like beautiful, chrome, elegant design ethic yet. And they've saved a shitload of money by filming it in some old abandoned factory or like a building site or quarry. But yeah, I just kind of miss it. Oh, here we go.
No, I'm not doing it. I hit it by mistake.
Yeah, don't hit the camera because we'll probably just cut the signal and I'll lose you.
Yeah. Well, I lost your beautiful face. I just got a text message. Yeah, I apologise.
I don't know. As to what you were saying,
don't hit me.
as to what you were saying initially, Ellie, he's scanned and then he's allowed in the building and then he starts acting like Secret Squirrel.
Yeah.
When he walks into this room, he's almost kind of like, I guess, welcomed in. And spoilers, in the next episode, he meets face to face again Helena Bonham Carter. Now, I'm not sure how this works. Is she the scientist that created this program that kind of like was part of the Skynet program, and that's why her kind of like residual self-image or kind of like avatar, if you will, is, to quote James Cameron, pun.
Ooh. Is she Skynet? Maybe.
I don't know, unless Skynet's got her face, it's either kind of
let's
like...
be honest, if Skynet was a male or a female, it'd definitely be a woman.
Well, Skynet has obviously, built Sam Worthington and sent him out to find John Connor and Carl Reese, etc. He's kind of a Trojan horse. As I guess he's hooking into the network here, the network's hooking back into him. The Abyss, if you look into the Abyss looks back at you. Yes, James Cameron, come on. All right, 6 more films to go. We can do this.
James Cameron.
So do you think from scanning
Cameron.
Right.
Right. Ba-ba.
Ellie, do you think Helena Bonham Carter is Skynet, or Skynet, because it scans Sam Worthington's brain while turning him into a half-man, half-robot, it has those memories, so it brings a familiar face upon the camera as a way of pleading with him?
I think Helena Bonham Carter is Skynet.
I used to think that, but now we've gone through this with a fine-tooth comb, knowing half of Sam Worthington is Skynet. I think they've taken all these things. I think to get him back on board, they've shown him a familiar face. It's kind of like the face of the devil.
Yeah, but he didn't
or
exactly look on her very kindly, though, did he?
no,
She kissed him, and he was like, "Oh, that's what death tastes like."
No, I know, but it was the last person he kind of had like any kind of like meaningful contact with. I guess
Surely,
you could
if
argue.
they wanted to do that, they would have got one of his brothers that he murdered by mistake.
That is true. But maybe,
So just blown your theory out the water.
no, because maybe memories don't go back that far. The only thing that Sam Worthington finds,
But they
on
do,
these,
because it says Sam Worthington murdered his. No, it's murderer has donated his body to. So no, it would all be in there. But that actually leads on to something that I want to talk about.
well, let me finish. He discovers his destiny because he knows exactly what happened to him now. He gave his body to science and he's become this thing. So he knows that much. I think Skynet's trying to get him back on side, if you will, and that's why it's showing him a familiar face. A bit like Anatar in the Silmarillion, where it's actually Sauron, but it comes in this like angelic form, even though it's the devil essentially.
Mm.
That's why Helena Bonham Carter, even though the Terminators have red eyes, her eyes are kind of red. This is in the next scene, spoilers. But anyway,
I was going to
continue.
say, you keep doing that. It ruins my notes. They're going to think I copied you, and I didn't. So yeah, Marcus has. Wait 1 second. So, if Marcus is linked up to Skynet, which he quite clearly is, this is before he goes into the mainframe, by the way. Skynet would actually already know that John's kind of on the prowl anyway, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
So there's a massive. Again, I mean, we've said this all along, but considering that now Marcus is inside Skynet and he's sending messages to him. That would be a massive red flag, I would have thought. But, you know, John's able to get... Where actually does John get to? Because the film was... the clip that you sent me was so dark, I couldn't actually see.
Well,
is he just outside Skynet?
No. At the end of that scene, I guess it's either... It's some kind of, like, bridge. This is meant to be Los Angeles, but there's no bridges in LA that are like that. It's a bit like the Golden Gate Bridge. He's riding across it at the end of the last sequence. In this, as I wrongfully said, because my clip was so scratchy... it pans across the road. You think, oh, they're following on the bike, on the moto TerMINator. But it's not. He's just looking at Skynet. So I guess he walks in from that point and he's just looking at it from afar and he gets all his equipment set up. His Sony Vio, which we're going to see in the next clip. Yeah, no, and I'm not sure what the plan is. He's just... Marcus Wright's gone in there to kind of like look for Carl Reese. For what end, I don't know. To bust him out and help him and help like get everyone out. What's John Connor going in there for? Backup, for support? Because he's only one man. Like,
I have no idea. I just think he wants the limelight.
How are they going to?
This Marcus has come along. He's stolen my crown of being, you know, the leader of the resistance.
Well,
maybe he's just trying to cash in on some of the glory.
As we've said in grim detail ad infinitum, if you're just joining the show, Marcus Wright was actually meant to be the saviour of humanity, and Christian Bale John Connor was meant to die in this. And John Connor was going to assume his identity and continue the fight. Because Marcus is like half machine, he knows and has the inside track on how to defeat them. And that's what turns the tides of the war, not John Connor himself, which is a really good Twilight Zone-esque twist, which was dumped, of course, when the bigger star Christian Bale signed on and had his role beefed up. And this, obviously, this plot point was sidelined because Sam Worthington was not a name then. He hadn't done Avatar and stuff.
What I want to know is how Marcus can just walk into that mainframe room and there's no surveillance, there's no alarms, there's no... I mean, I know that he's a Terminator.
I think ultimately because he's supposed to. He's the Trojan horse. He's got information. He's talked to John Connor. He's talked John Connor into actually...
So you think he's being controlled by Skynet at this point?
He's inadvertently done his job, which is what he's meant to do. A bit like The Thing, as we've discussed. If you were The Thing, the movie monster... So
does that mean that we can blame Skynet on Marcus's terrible acting?
Would you know... No, that's just pure Australian plankness. But no, I think he's done his job. He's the unwitting kind of like Trojan horse that's kind of taught John Connor into breaking into Skynet alone without anyone to support him, in hope of killing Carl Reese, his future father. So Skynet's kind of won in the end. It's kind of captured his father, whoever he is. He's in one of these like fattening pens. He's going to be killed at some point, either as a group or they'll find out exactly who he is, which they had when they scanned his face, and he's kind of incarcerated as an individual, as bait for John Connor. And then they're going to be killed literally at ground zero in the TerMINator making factory. How apt. And it's all been orchestrated and led to by this Trojan horse that's Marcus Wright.
Ooh, Lynn. Well, that'd suck though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think that's why Marcus has been let in.
You thought you were helping all along.
Yeah, but that's why Marcus his passage into Skynet has been so easily, and he's kind of had the front door open for him and a red carpet rolled out. He's been told.
What do you think about?
Nothing. He's found and been told out his true identity in his past now, so he knows where he's come from. Now, at some point, well, we see it in this clip. He rips out the implant in the back of his head, which I guess is the transmitter, and giving him any kind of non-free will, and then he can think and decide for himself. I guess that's the intention. The story doesn't really telegraph that very well, I think.
But again, if he knew it was there all along, why not pull it out?
Because I think when this thing is scanned, when he's learning who he is, I think all the program and the process of building him, I think he's basically been given the kind of like the building manual for himself, really, in the process that he's gone through, and he's probably found out, there's some like transmitter, homing beacon, control device in the back of my head. If I pull that out, the human side of my brain will, of course, have precedence over the machine side. I'm actually being an apologist here and helping out the filmmakers. I don't think they've thought this far ahead, but I'm assuming that's why. I was going to say,
you thought about this more than the filmmakers.
I'm making this sound better than it actually is. I don't know, but I can only assume he's discovered what he's done, and he's led John here, and John's coming. He can't stop anything now. He's got to rip this thing out of his head and try and turn the tide of the war. And when he does that, as we get to tomorrow's episode, that's when Helena Bonham Carter appears. The face of the devil, dressed in angelic form, if you will, even though she was a bit of a kind.
Even though
she was a bald cancer lady who he just kissed on the lips when that's how death insulted her, and then just went to his death. But again, ham-fisted filmmaking. I can only assume, because we discussed this again in episode 2 of this season, that Helena Bonham Carter, I think, some members of her family were killed in a car accident, I think a week or so into shooting, so they rejigged her schedule. And I think they are the front-loaded everything. So she only did that one scene, and she didn't appear anything apart from on this screen. And I guess she would have had a bigger part.
I don't know.
But yeah, that's like she had some family tragedy and had to be like leave the production basically. So I guess maybe she had a bigger part, and they just had to kind of work around.
Wasn't that Kelly LeBrock's excuse to not go on your show?
Yes. Let's hope it was the truth, and let's hope we get her on soon.
Yeah, come on, Kelly. You ain't got anything else going on.
She's got plenty going on.
That's my opinion, not anyone else's. What do you think about the fact that Skynet symbolism is a triangle? It's very kind of Illuminati. When Sam walks it, Sam walks into the mainframe, literally just behind his head, you can see the little triangle symbol, and I was like, oh my god, Skynet of the Illuminati.
But again, that Skynet logo makes no sense unless you have the central hub of the Skynet mainframe within that giant pyramid. Unless that's the company logo of Cyberdyne, which it kind of was in 2, and Skynet created and built its own image based off that. I don't know. But again, we're kind of like backpedaling, being apologists, and trying to save this film. I apologise for nothing. And trying to save this film and trying to make it a better film than it actually is.
Also, another qualm with this is you see when Marcus logs into the mainframe with that brilliant acting conveyed amazingly well with the sudden eye jerky movements and the ever so slightly disgruntled look of pain on his face when he's discovering that, that there's been a huge war, people are dead. And then he disarms weaponry, and then he sends the information on Kyle Reese to John Connor, bullshit Bale. Again, how is all that? How can that all happen without any kind of alarms going off? He's just disarmed a bloody. Because
again, I think he's not pulled the probe out of his head yet. It's actually the next episode. Sorry, but I think this is all part of the plan. He's the Trojan horse. He's bringing John Connor exactly where he needs to be. This is the purpose he's been built for. Now, he probably would have been sent out on his mission in some different form, but obviously that kind of like human experimentation factory where they were actually building him, and probably others, that got bombed by the human resistance, and he came crawling out of the mud, or born, if you will.
But the issue with what Skynet, if that is the whole plan, the issue that Skynet have now encountered is that now Marcus has found out how he's been created. He then rips the thing out the back of his head, so he wants to have free will. So they've kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit there.
Yeah, but that's but that's the central conceit of many sci-fi films. Is it's like the ghost in the shell, isn't it? That's that story. It's the at what point.
Now it's time to erase that mistake.
Yeah, at what point does a thing that's not born, or a thing that's created a machine, at what point do you acknowledge that it's a living thing? Does it have a consciousness? Does it have a heart? Does it have a soul? Does it gain that through experience? Is it born that way? If it's so clever it can actually feel and empathise.
Data did.
Well, exactly. That's the same. It's the same thing. It's like it's a science fiction trope. It's one of like the 7 themes in science fiction, isn't it? But this is him, I guess. His humanity wins out over the machine part of him, and he tears that thing out, and then obviously comes to the rescue later in the film.
I have one more thing to say on this.
But he draws his line in the sand, obviously, in the next episode when he throws the TV through Helena Bonham Carter's imaginary face.
I have one more thing to say on this.
Yeah.
When Bullshit Bale receives the image of the information on Kyle and goes, "Okay, did you not also just think, let's get this done?" It's exactly what I thought.
Why did he have a Boston cream pie in one of his hands while he was programming the computer?
That's the reason he needs to get to Carl Reeves. That's the real reason. Cake
Boston cream pie. I mean, a Mississippi mud pie. What was I thinking of? What cake is that?
I don't know. A brown one. I don't know. A Boston sponge. Maybe it's like a Victoria sponge, but it's the American version. Maybe you can ask. Oh God, Bill Burr when we go to see him next month. Anyway, that's everything I've got to say on this episode.
Are you sure?
I'm 110%. I know you're trying to eke it out to 30 minutes, but we don't have the time.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Ellie's going to be going for a massage session with her friend Marty.
No, I'm giving a massage. I'm not receiving one.
No, I know, but like he's asked you to massage him like 3 times now.
I know, because I'm a qualified masseuse.
Oh bollocks! Look, everyone, we've all been.
We're trying to keep this a PG-friendly show.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, massaging is a thinly veiled attempt. This was like Grindr before there was the internet or something. This is.
Stop eking it out! I know exactly what you're doing.
And all right, stop trying to. By the same token, stop trying to shorten it.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I've said everything I need to say.
All right. Well, anyway, everyone, thank you for listening. If you want to keep following the show, please do follow us on SoundCloud. You can follow us also on the 2-Minute TerMINator on Facebook. We have mostly daily, but if not weekly, albums upon albums. They mostly go on weekly. Mostly. I've just put on a bunch of NECA Terminator toys in their various guises, from the first Terminator to Terminator Genesis, the entire range. I'm going to start adding more, of course, but weekly and especially daily, we have like new pictures and stuff along with this show. You can also follow along with the clip. I'm wrapping up. You can also follow along with the clip I'm talking about actually on Facebook. Failing that, if you want to watch the in-video commentary, if you go to... it's really good. You should check it out. 2-Minute TerMINator on YouTube. If you
watch anything this week, it should be that.
Please subscribe to us on that channel. We want support. No one really knows about us on YouTube because I just don't tell you very often, but there is actually a better version. Ellie, stop doing that. There is actually a better version of this show on YouTube, so please check that out. Thank you for listening. We will be back tomorrow with episode 44, and we shall return then. When we get off the line, I'm going to berate Ellie for doing that because it's ruining the speakers. Baby. And I'm going to say the last word, which is I love Boston cream pie, whatever you are. Bye.
man, you and me, we're fucking done professionally. Fucking ass.